What's going on, party people? My name is Solomon. I am an artist, and thus I go by Solomon the Artiste. Let me get straight into the video because I'm sure you're here because of the title. So I am fasting. I'm doing a water fast. I fasted before. I am a Christian, and so fasting is normal to me, although I haven't fasted often. I've done 2 fasts in my lifetime, both of which were just 3-day fasts. And I fasted because I was going through certain things in life and I needed spiritual guidance and a stronger connection to God. And I found that fasting did that. And, you know, an additional benefit to fasting, which all of you I'm sure know, is the physical aspect of it. You know, you do lose weight, you do remove inflammation in your joints and things like that. You basically heal. And I've actually had a lot happen to me from the moment I turned 30, basically. So so basically, let me first explain this. I intended to start fasting into the new year, but I had some people over at the house. I stayed home for New Year's, and excuse me, even though I'm not really a drinker, I'll have a little thing here or there socially. So I had a bit of champagne. My plan was to just have a little bit of this and that and just stop right before midnight. And that didn't happen. Basically, one friend was like, here, just have a sip. And I was sitting there and I'm thinking, no, I shouldn't. It's 12:01. And then I just kind of gave in, unfortunately. And so I figured I could have just said, you know, I could have still just said, let me start the fast from here on. But I kind of felt it silly to start a fast with alcohol in my system, especially when even though I am water fasting, I am fasting for spiritual Christ reasons as well. So I opted to not begin fasting January 1st, but to begin January 2nd, which I did. Again, it kind of happened again where I was like having a donut, and I thought, like, I didn't think 12 o'clock had hit yet. And still, it's not that smart to have sugar right before a fast either. But I did. But this time I figured, you know what, it's sugar. I'll just, you know, I just really just worked it out as best as I could. So basically, I started my fast on January 2nd at 12:05, I believe. And I've been fasting ever since. So right now, as I shoot this video, it's January 3rd, and the time is 10:23 a.m. And so I must say that I feel great. You know, I am fasting for a number of reasons. First of all, like I said, I fasted before. I fasted twice before, and those 2 fasts were just 3-day fasts. And the first fast was, you know, heavily spiritual. It was me just looking for healing and guidance, and, you know, not to make this that kind of video, but, you know, I suffer a bit with depression. But, you know, and I found that fasting helped so much. And I found that while fasting, when I would read my Bible, I understood things in a way that I never did before. And so that's how I really got to see that fasting truly is something. However, I didn't understand that it's terrible to go from fasting, basically eating nothing, having nothing but water, to eating a patty and cocoa bread. I am Jamaican, you know, and I just had it waiting for me in the freezer. And then the second fast, I did the same thing again. I was so stupid, you know, because basically when you fast and you just jump into food like that, it just kind of tears your stomach up. And I did that the second time around as well. You know, I had my great experience fasting, but it was starving and just waiting to eat some pork chops, basically. And so I like ate them like pretty much right after, and it was not a good thing to do, basically. Let's just say that. So I think I might have been looking at the viewfinder for a bit while I was speaking. My bad, y'all. So either way, right now I am in the midst of my fast. I've completed one full day and I'm on the second day. I went to sleep feeling pretty terrible. I had a headache, I felt achy, I just felt so exhausted, and basically all the things you feel. It felt almost like a hangover, basically, but I woke up refreshed. I woke up lighter. I woke up feeling this great sense of inflammation removed from my foot, and that's what I want to get into also. So let me get into all the physical reasons for my first. Let me add this. I created an additional page, which is it is my Christian page, basically. I don't want to bombard my subscribers here on my artist page with my faith, basically. And that's not to say that I'm ashamed of, being a Christ follower and everything, but I also know that people can get uncomfortable. And so what I decided to do is, here, that doesn't mean that I'm never going to mention Jesus Christ on this channel or in my videos, but I'm just not going to force Christ down your throat, basically, but Christ is a very much so a part of my life, and so he's gonna come up, and that's just, fair warning, basically. I hope that doesn't turn you away, but it is what it is. So yeah, I created an additional page to speak more on the spiritual aspects of fasting and everything. And that page is called Why I See by Faith on YouTube. And I created an Instagram for it also, but I haven't really posted on the Instagram as of yet, but I wanted to ensure that that name was existent already on Instagram. And I haven't posted on that YouTube page either as of yet. I'm probably going to do that also. I'm sort of just getting everything together for this new year. And I've got a lot of plans and everything prepared for the new year. So basically that's one of my projects. In any case, so going back, the reason that I want and need to do this fast there are spiritual reasons, which will be over there in heavier detail. But physically, I just have so much that I need to heal. I was saying earlier that I hit 30 and it's like everything just went downhill. I experienced so many things, I experienced Bell's palsy. I found out that I have pretty severe acid reflux, severe to the point where it cuts off my breath. Like, I've landed in the hospital because I couldn't catch my breath, basically. I have issues with my foot. And I what else? I mean, I need to see a chiropractor. I don't want to sound like a walking, disaster, but there are all these things that just sort of caught up to me, and I've realized, basically having to deal with all these things and speaking to different doctors and everything, I realized that everything has to do largely with my eating habits. And so my fasting is sort of a a jump start into eating well, and so that I can live well. Even after just one day, I guess this is the first time where I've paid attention to it physically while fasting. When I fasted the first 2 times, I paid attention primarily spiritually, reading my Bible, trying to, connect with the Lord and praying and worshiping and everything. This time I'm doing that, but I'm also paying attention to my physicality and wanting to heal myself. So I understand that in fasting, the body will heal itself when it doesn't have to spend time digesting food. And I've already witnessed experienced such a major difference in this this one day, where like the inflammation in my foot has decreased so much, where it's like my foot doesn't feel like as stiff at all as it did before. You know, I find that I can, you know, stretch a lot. Well, that defeated the purpose. I was gonna say, you didn't hear a crack when I stretched, but that was a loud crack. But it wasn't painful, you know. Even like with speaking, like my voice it just feels better, you know. Like I've had to actually go and start seeing a voice specialist because, and that's so there's so much going on here. Basically, I'm fasting to heal my body, and my body is very much so a large part of my job. I'm an actor, singer, and you know, if my body's out of service, I'm out of service, you know. I mean, pretty much I'm out of service, you know, and even more so my voice. There was a point where I thought that I wouldn't be able to sing anymore. There was a point where I thought that I wouldn't be able to, even if I could sing, I couldn't reach my notes like before. Like I felt like I was losing range, you know. And this is why I had to start seeing the ENT specialist, the voice specialist, and all these things. But these things cost money, you know, and so I just want to take better care of myself so I don't have to keep spending money to repair. You know, why not just stay repaired? And it's free to stay repaired. Fast so that your body can heal. And my aim is to go full vegan, you know. At some point I'd like to go raw vegan because I'd like to go raw vegan properly. Let's say that. That's a whole other thing. Forgive me if it sounds like I'm rambling on. You know, I like for these videos to be just very transparent and honest, and so yeah. So I'm trying to think, do I need to speak on anything else? Even my skin, I apologize for my skin. Like so that's another thing I didn't mention. So I mentioned, you know, my foot, my voice, my acid reflux. I've had issues with my skin. I think it's psoriasis. However, so I apologize if you see any, like, if there are any like red/raw patches on my face or anything. I exfoliated for you guys. Yes and no. I exfoliated because I saw some psoriasis coming in, and so did that, moisturized, and made it work as best as I could, basically. I'm seeing a lot of ums. It's because I'm thinking, and I really don't like doing the ums, but they're gonna stay in this video. There we go again. So basically we are at the ending/beginning of day 1, day 2, basically. I didn't film at all yesterday like I wanted to because I got caught up. I think I said that in the beginning of this video, I'm not sure, but if I didn't, I said it just now. Caught myself. I was gonna say, I hope that you will travel with me on this journey. I plan to film every day. I haven't weighed myself as of yet. I don't have a scale in the house, which is crazy, but I actually ordered one on Amazon. And so that should be in the mail tomorrow, actually. So I'll weigh myself tomorrow and see what I weigh. I know I may not look like it from this angle, the way the camera's set up and everything, which is intentional. But I am a pretty heavy dude. I'll be honest and let you know what I weigh when the scale comes in. I don't feel starved, basically. I did feel pretty starved. I know I didn't feel starved. I was just tempted, you know, by the smells and everything around me, you know. And it's so funny, when you're fasting, you watch TV or something, you never notice how many food commercials are actually there until you're not eating. Yeah, so But yeah, I mentioned my skin. I'm all over the place, forgive me y'all, but I mentioned my skin because that's another thing, you know, I noticed, and I did a lot of research also, you know, I've, like I said, I fasted for spiritual reasons, but taking it this far, you know, on a 21-day fast is a completely different thing. But I did notice in doing my research that a lot of the people who fasted properly and healthily, they had their physical changes, their healing, but additionally they had such beautiful skin, you know, their skin was able to detoxify, and that's what's going on. That's what happens in the entire body. You go into ketosis and your body begins to use up the fat that's already there, and they say you shouldn't exercise while fasting. Technically you shouldn't, because you only have but so much energy. I'm probably still going to like at least walk. You know, I don't want to just lay down and just, you know, I don't want that. It defeats the purpose. I'm trying to become a far more active person, a vibrant person. And I think if you already exercise, if you're already someone that does, you know, excessively exercise, you know, it might not hurt you to continue to exercise, maybe not as hard as you normally do. But for someone like me who doesn't really exercise in the manner that they'd like to, but I plan to go into exercising after, you know, the fasting and as I head into the vegan journey. I hope you all will journey with me though. Have I spoken much about the fasting? So basically, just to sum it all up, I finished day 1 of my water fast. I'm in the midst of day 2. I will give you an update every day, basically. I hope that you will subscribe and follow so that you can keep up. I'm not really that type to do the whole shirtless picture, you know, show before and after. Maybe I'll take the picture and see how I feel in the end of the 21-day fast, or maybe I'll just do it in a muscle shirt or something. I don't really want to expose myself like that. We'll see though. We'll see. I'll take both pictures and see what happens. And yeah, so let's journey together. You know, maybe you're fasting as well. A lot of people, especially in the Christian community, we go into the New Year fasting. I've never really done it with the church. I have just fasted on my own for my own reasons and had miraculous experiences, and so I'm excited to see what happens this time around. And so yeah, with that said, thank you all so much for watching. I'm so glad, I feel so blessed that you've watched this far. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have your viewership. If you have a YouTube channel yourself, I'd love to subscribe to you. Just let me know in the comment section if you've subscribed. And yeah, and if you're interested in the Christian spiritual aspect of my fasting journey, Why I See by Faith is the page. Everyone have a blessed day, afternoon, evening. I don't know when you're watching this, but yeah. Be blessed.